giving off the impression that it's like freezing cold out here with your double jacket, mate.
I love layers, mate. I love layers. All about layers. Welcome to the lovely New Forest. We're in Lymington on site with Joe from Aurum Hortis.
Right, Craig?
We took the scenic route here today, Joe. We've got some lovely drone footage of the lorry going through the countryside.
Nice.
It's beautiful, lovely open forest out there.
Yeah.
And this one is a Neil Jones garden design.
Designed by Neil Jones. Moved pretty quickly on the job, to be fair. So yeah, he approached us beginning of the year and then started pretty quickly. So it was pretty. Yeah,
so this kind of wasn't even in the pipeline before Christmas.
Well, he'd finished the design and then it was just finalising with the client timings and stuff. But the way it's worked with our schedule, that we could have started pretty quick. So yeah, made a move quite quickly.
Yeah, because we're filming this now, like just the start of February, and we're quite lucky because we've had a nice spell of dry weather. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It has been wetter here, unfortunately. But, yeah,
yeah, it hasn't been a dry winter. But yeah, I mean, the timings thing is interesting because we are trying to encourage clients to still try and get garden work done in the winter time, because I know a lot of people don't want their house messy and it's wet, and it can be quite problematic.
It swings and roundabouts. I mean, in the summer, for example, here it has been really wet. We're lucky the ground is relatively free draining, but what you've got to balance it out in, if you're not doing it in the winter and it's getting wet, in the summer it's going to be, I think it's messier in a way, not necessarily on the floor, but dust goes everywhere from digging out all over the windows, windowsills, like you can see in the background, doors like that, you can't just wash them down, they have to be professionally cleaned.
Yeah, they're not fare too well.
Yeah, so it's like it swings and roundabouts really. You're sort of sacrificing one mess for another, and getting work done in the summer, really you want to be using your garden. That's when you want to use the garden.
Yeah.
If you've got a reasonable sized project that's say 10 weeks, as we're all aware, the summers in this country aren't that long, so you could be literally sacrificing your whole summer, when in the winter, it might take a little bit longer and be a little bit messier, but the end result's still going to be the same, and then you can enjoy it when you actually want to.
Yeah, my thing that I tell people is exactly that, because like the summers are not long, unfortunately.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And like the ideal situation you want to be in is to be ready as soon as those first nice days of spring come. Your garden's done, and the good thing is like a lot of the time you guys are. And I mean, we find this as well, like we are quieter in like December and January.
Yeah, exactly.
And the landscapers, even the really good ones, are quieter. So a lot of the time, if you're approaching them during that period, they're going to be more receptive. They're going to have a bit more time to talk to you about your job and stuff. And because the reality is, in the middle of the summer, you're smashed with work,
you're too busy. And, that's, when people start to think about their gardens, even planning for the, next year, following year, they do approach you in the summer, and that is a busier time for sure. The winter is definitely the best time, I'd say, to approach a landscaper and a designer as well, because they'll also be quieter and they can accommodate you more quickly.
So to help us get our sort of heads around what's happening here, like this looks like a relatively recently built home. Like what was was the garden unfinished?
So this 10 years old, this house, and there's another house behind the camera that was built at the same time. There was one house on this plot, central to the plot. So before there was a patio that came off of the doors, a big massive just sandstone, pretty boring, with like a small bed, and that tree in the background was inside the bed.
Okay.
And then over there was just a big shed. The shed was original to the original house, so it was like completely dilapidated and falling apart, and they tried to sort of tie it up with a few bits of cedar like they put on the house, but it was pretty
under
rubbish.
The hood it was
crap. And it was just like not really thought out, to be fair. Just a huge like L-shaped lawn. Nothing like typical developer, just sort of put something as
just plonk a terrace.
Yeah, like something is better than nothing, I think is the attitude. And it was usable, but not it's not.
To be fair, most decent sized family homes, that is what the garden you find.
Yeah, exactly.
Some paving and some lawn.
Exactly. But you don't have to sacrifice. I think a lot of time people when they think about design, they think that you're going to get something like really crazy and like out there. But the whole point of, you know, a designer is to work to your brief. So if you say, oh, I want like 2 large usable lawn areas, you know, paving, dining, that sort of thing, they'll come up with something that suits you. They won't just like go, oh well, you know, screw you, I'll just do what I want, because that's not what they're getting paid for.
Yeah,
so,
you'll get the most out of your garden build.
And they'll know, like the you know, where the sun goes, what, you know, whatever. They'll know the best.
But I know, like, one of Neil's things is all about trying to build gardens for like modern living.
Yes,
like to try and wrap the garden a bit around the lifestyle of the people.
Yeah. So like here we've got this side where we stood next to. This is going to be a garden room. We're not building this, but we're doing everything around it. You've got like 2 lawns, split lawns, low-level beds, raised beds, water feature, covered area that will with a metal pergola that will have, you know, screens down the sides, so you can sit out here all evening. This block
built shape you're building here, that's going to be a big raised bed.
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of plants going in there? Shrubbies or trees?
Put a lot of perennials, no trees. Okay. Any sort of trees we put back in are all going around the outside just to act as screening from neighbours and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got a nice olive over there that we took out as well, which we weren't going to keep, but it's quite nice, so we are going to keep that. And then that Acer down there is really like bright red leaves. So what we've done is we've planted it central to the window, because inside there's a sofa about halfway in that room and they look out of there, so it's going to look quite cool.
So it's going to be like a picture.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So it'll look really cool.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
Yeah, it'll look really good.
Yeah, they've already got some nice grasses and things like that in here, so I'm assuming they're staying.
Yeah, so a lot of that, they were all spread out, and you know, we don't want to waste anything, so we've just retained those. And there's some beds and stuff out the front that are additions on the job, so we may well plant those in there.
Oh, cool.
Just to, you know, keep the environmental impact down.
We like to hear that, Joe.
Yes,
we like to hear that, mate. And like, we're excited for this one because it's got our relatively new large format Newtown Beige slabs in there, and you've been sort of cutting them today. Like, how have you been finding them to work with?
Yeah, Josh has been cutting them today. He's been doing a good job. They cut really nice for porcelain. I think a lot of the time people get quite scared of cutting porcelain because it, you know, sort of the lower cost ones can be quite chippy and fracture, but it depends how you cut them. And we're cutting them with a petrol saw, which I think a lot of people try and steer clear of.
Quite a lot of power and vibration.
But it's we cut them on like a sheet of Celotex or on a pallet if the pallet's like relatively new.
Just give you that absorption.
Yeah, and it's more just for the slab being on a flat surface. If it's rocking back and forward, then the weight is like not touching all of it, and that's when you'll get breakages. But yeah, really nice to cut. We're going to lay them on, the ones he's cut, on top of the bed this afternoon.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so like they're going to be a coping.
Yeah, and then the bed will be rendered, which we'll do tomorrow. But yeah, it should look really good. And then everything's
like sorry to interrupt you, but the nails. We haven't had a chance to chat with Neil about it. Hopefully, when we come back and this is all done, we'll get Joe and Neil back here to talk about like why certain decisions were made and thought behind the design. But I'm guessing Neil's going for the big format tiles because you've got some big format paves as well, just to get the modern
the modern look, and it's quite like, it's on a house like this where there's a lot of right angles, you know, everything's very
square,
clean. You want those clean lines.
You
know, if you have like, and that's the thing with what was here before, was like random patterned sandstone, just looks really like dated, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't suit a
kind of that house looks a bit wrong. With like
it doesn't look. It doesn't look right. So we're having lots of long lines. We're laying it all stack bond.
Yeah, nice. It looks lovely.
Yeah, lots of lines running all the way through and stuff to keep it keep it looking good.
Maybe the new colour flow point going in.
Potentially, We're looking for, so we use flow point most projects. We haven't used any of the new colours yet, but hoping to use that here.
Oh, very nice.
Start laying early part of next week, and then hopefully be done mid-March if we don't get any more horrendous weather, which hopefully not.
Praying for you.
Touch wood, all
praying for you. And then hopefully in like springtime, maybe late spring, we'll come back here and and we'll get Neil and have a little sit down and chat and
Yeah, it'd be
show
great,
you
yeah.
how this place looks in a sort of a few months' time, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have a sunny day like this, but it'll be like sort of 15, 20 degrees warmer maybe.
Yes, hopefully, yeah.
Fingers crossed. All right, see you in the next one, dude.
Cheers,
See you
Craig.
soon. Cheers, mate. Nice one.